welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Lokko. Thank you so much for making time to join us again, where we look at the big stories for the week as reported by various media outlets. When we come back, I'll take you through the big stories and then we'll look at the angles. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. We'll start with the big one coming for the NPP on Saturday, November 4th, to do with their primaries, presidential primaries, of course. Let's start with a daily graphic and let's see how they are capturing that story. They say NPP inches towards showdown. The Chronicle says, I will win on Saturday, Akoto. Daily Guide, you can bet on me, Bawumia tells delegates. The Finder says Bawumia campaign refused Kennedy Japan's $800 million offer allegation. Still with the Finder, Dr. Akoto cautions against manipulations and favoritism. The Republic Press says fireworks fly in NPP as Opare and cuts Kennedy Japan to size. Daily Post says Dr. Bawumia fingered in a rail line theft scandal. The Herald says NPP delegates must reject Northerner Bawumia on Saturday, says Kennedy Japan. The New Publisher, bring me Mahama to bid in 2024, Bawumia tells NPP delegates. Daily Guide says NPP primaries, Bawumia tipped to win 80% votes. The Republic Press says Bawumia vindicated by OSP as NDC sheds tears over Ohene report. The Informer says $800 million bribery allegations na lie. Bawumia exposes failed dirty smear campaign. The Herald says Kennedy Japan wanted $500 million yearly contract to step down. Bawumia's team drops bombshell ahead of Saturday's NPP presidential primaries. Daily Post says we are taking money. I've received 100 Ghana cedis from Kennedy Japan and 200 from Bawumia. NPP delegates confess on live TV. Still with Daily Post, Bawumia is the worst vice president ever, former NPP Ashanti regional chairman. Let's go to Citi Newsroom and see what they have. The first one says NPP flag bearer aspirants sign undertaking not to resign from party if they lose primary. Hashtag NPP decides. New poll predicts Bawumia's dominance in 8 key regions. Also, NPP flag bearership race. We have allowed our selfish interests to divide us, Hackman Owusu-Agyemang. And finally, Citi Newsroom, NPP appoints 3-member committee to supervise flag bearer race in constituencies. So that's the story to do with the NPP. We'll move to the Akosombo Dam Spillage because it's still making news due to the development around that sad one. So let's start with Daily Graphic, VRA and Spillage. We move to Ghanaian Times, Parliament to inquire into Akosombo Dam Spillage, Speaker. Still with Ghanaian Times, Akosombo Dam Spillage, 19,743 school kids displaced in 71 schools in Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta regions, as the CRI is speaking. The Chronicle says dam spillage, NADBO promises relief items for every affected home. Ghanaian Times, government presents relief items to Buipe flood victims. The Finder says spillage disrupts education of 19,743 children. 9,000 lost their educational materials, Bright appears speaking. The Inquisitor says VRA has no fumigation contract with Zoom Lion. We go to Business Finder. Chief of Staff assures Savannah flood victims of government support. Citi Newsroom, Operation Rebuild Perez Chapel to fund 1 resettlement center for Akosombo Dam Spillage victims. Still with Citi Newsroom, Akosombo Dam Spillage, Citi FM, Citi TV cut short for 2nd resettlement center. And finally, on City Newsroom, Akosombo Dam Spillage, Satan smell, and girls blood kusu as children scavenge for materials. So away from that, and we go to the military attack at Garu, and let's see how that story was reported by the various media outlets. We start with the finder. Attackers of national security officers arrested. Daily Guide says military deployed to Nkwanta over ethnic clash. The publisher says stop attacks on our men, national security warns. The Inquisitor, we will drag Kandapa to Parliament over military brutality in Garu, Cletus Avoka speaking. City Newsroom, National Security Ministry responds to alleged military brutality in Garu. Still with City Newsroom, national security officers must wear uniforms to reduce civilian attacks, Mahama Yariga. And finally, on that story, and with City Newsroom, admit your actions were excessive and apologize to my constituents. Tapani MP to the military. So those are the big stories that made headlines for this week. Joining me today for our discussions on these stories, I have Samuel Attah-Mensah. He's here with us at Citi FM and Citi TV. Welcome.
Thank you.
And then I also have Selorm Adonoo also here with us at Citi FM and Citi TV. Selorm, welcome as well.
Thank you, Vivian.
Guys, I think we can start with the NPP's primaries scheduled for Saturday. And let's start with how some of the story around it has been captured. Let's start with the Daily Guide. They say NPP primaries, Bawumia tipped to win 80% votes. So, Mens, your thoughts around that? Some are saying that Kennedy may do more than the 20% that currently some, polls are showing.
I mean, polls are polls. So every pollster, based on their methodology and their sample sizes and prior experiences, may give their own interpretation of the figures they see. I mean, from where I sit, everything shows that Dr. Bawumia is winning. I mean, no question about that. But I'm unable to tell by what margins.
So you're looking at a majority clear win, or
emphatic
60?
win, emphatic win.
What is leading to that prediction from your side?
Well, the engagement with the electorate is what tells me that he's winning emphatically.
Well, what have they been saying? Those you've been engaging with?
No, you see, they don't tell. I mean, I don't go asking whether you vote for Dr. Bawumia or not. But there are people who have so badly been attached to the fortunes of the party and the government. Mm-hmm. When you hear them speak, you're able to place them, mm-hmm. and they see any other voice of dissent or any other voice that is not sympathetic to the cause of the party as an enemy, if you like. Mm-hmm. So when you speak with them, not that I've done any survey, but based on my general interactions with the people, everything shows that Dr. Bawumia will win.
Do you think he will clear all the 16 regions in terms of wins?
I think so.
Wow. So
I think that he will win all the regions.
Because there's a poll that suggests that Kennedy may take Oti, Greater Accra region, which is interesting, Central, as well as Ahafo.
Anytime you see a poll that uses the word may, don't even worry about it. Don't be bothered. I mean, the poll is telling you may. But everybody can say may. I mean, why do we do probabilities? So that we may find out the outcomes. So, I mean, once they say may, they are not sure of what they are saying. But I'm just saying that for me, I think Dr. Bawumia will win every region. But
you think that, I mean, what's his name, Kennedy is seen as, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a force in the Central region, the likelihood of him not winning there, wouldn't that be rather, a big deal?
Yes, Kennedy appears to be strong. I don't know if he's really strong on the ground or he's strong on the airwaves, but he would really want to win Central Region to make a statement.
Yeah.
I don't know how much work is done there. I think in the NDC race, the one speaker about being contested as well. I think he wanted to win his home region, but he couldn't win. I think he won his constituency, which was good for him. So assuming he had lost his constituency to John Mahama, it would have been very devastating. He won that one. He didn't win the region. But I thought, he had wanted to win the region just to make a statement. Kennedy, with all the things he's done around the country, talking here and there, and claiming to have done for the party and the region, the region, how do I say it? The party in the region, I think he'll be very disappointed if he doesn't win. But the August contest, he couldn't win that one. Bawumia won it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he's going to win it. I don't know if the numbers will favor him, as in the sheer number of delegates in that regard will favor him or not. But he really, really, really would want to win the Central Region just to make a statement, to make people know that he has a base. We always talk about base in political, in political context or in politics. His base is the Central Region. That is what he makes people believe, or that's what we think it is. And to not put up a good performance in the region by winning will be a big blow to him. I don't think that as things stand now, he will win the election. It's not possible. Okay. Interestingly, he has as his tagline, "Not just possible." I don't know what that means. Not just possible. Because someone is saying it is possible, and you say not just possible. I don't know what that means. Is it not just possible that you win? Yeah. I don't know what that means. But I think what he has brought to the race is a certain passion and a certain heat
and energy.
And energy. Whether that energy really will translate into real vote is something we will see come Saturday. The real polls will be what we see on Saturday. But my concern really is how the approach is seeking to divide the party. And when you listen to some of the top leaders of the party, the chairman, for example, says the NPP is in a poor position or a weak position now. Chairman of the Council of Elders, Hackman, saying that the selfish interests of people dividing the party, etc. These are top level people. When they are talking that way, you know that it's really deep, So I'm just wondering how they will close that gap, or how they will, heal themselves
after the election.
After Saturday. We hear Kennedy say a lot of things, that he is not Alan, he will not take some of these things lying now, etc. What things? I just do not know, because his polling agent or coordinator was allegedly chased away. I don't know what it means. I don't know what they know, but it will be interesting to see what happens after November 4. That is and I don't expect a very smooth process, 100%. It's an election. You don't expect things to be 100%. Even in national elections, when the observers are reporting, there's always some allowance or some space they leave for some difficulties or skirmishes. So they will say the election was generally fair and peaceful. It doesn't mean that there was no single incident of attack or anything, but they say generally peaceful. So in the last election, we saw an incident, one, where he claimed that his polling agent or somebody was chased out. That was just one he could point to. I didn't hear two. So that was just one. I would have treated it as an isolated incident. The Alan one to the guy whose that was very unfortunate. But out of the whole thing, that was the only one we saw, unless there were other incidents or instances that we didn't know. But to base everything on just one, in the case of Alan and in the case of Kennedy Japan, to go to town to make the statement about showdown the way he made it, I thought it was quite extreme. So I don't know what to expect, on Saturday. The stakes may be higher, I do not know. But I think the party has a duty and a role to play to make sure that the playing field is as level as possible, so that, these potential incidents are reduced to the barest minimum. And the players, the candidates themselves, must always also commit themselves to the process. There should be a way of resolving some of these things on that day. It's an election. People have invested money.
Sure.
So any kind of loss will be difficult. But if the person can blame his loss on something, he will do it. And he will milk it. And when the person is milking it, it will be milking it to the disadvantage of the party and the one who has won, who will now be seeking to unite the party because there's a bigger fight ahead. So I think the party leadership, executive, everybody would need to do a lot of work between now and Saturday.
Now, if you look at Hakman Owusu's statement, Ajiman's statement this morning over the attitude of some members of the party, I mean, that statement wasn't out of place. Something that, I mean, for some time, people have said that elders within the party must call people to order. There should be people who should be stopping some of these things. The statement, is it coming at the right time? Would it change anything, especially towards Saturday's elections and looking at the future of the party?
Well, I wish it came earlier, but better late than never. Between now and Saturday in politics may be a long time, maybe a very short time. But it's good they've started speaking. Stephen Ntim has spoken. He is also speaking. You know, I thought they could have said some of these things earlier. Maybe they were working behind the scenes. But there are times you need to speak up for people to know. I mean, the past weeks we've been asking, who are the elders of the party? Where are they? Are they not seeing all these things people are saying, etc.? You know, I thought that they could have spoken a bit earlier and more direct to the issues. I don't know whether they were dealing with these issues behind the scenes. It's a political party. This is a family fight or an internal contest. They may not want to be saying some of these things for a lot of people to be hearing, which may disadvantage the party. But it's a good call. When you talk to some of them, they have a feeling that the party is very divided. This contest has divided the party. I'm only hoping that they're able to band together after it. But it is not always easy. When the crack is very deep, I mean, it's very terrible. Even the 2007 contest between Alan and Nanadu.
But some would say if you compare this one, the recent contest and how statements have been made, if you compare to others, this is not as serious as the other.
Which ones? This one?
No, this one, if you compare the war of words to other, you know, campaign periods within the party where
no, this has been, well, I don't know, but
apart from
this has been,
one or two.
NPP has never seen this before.
This has been quite serious.
This is the West they are having.
Well, NPP hasn't seen
this has been quite serious
before. I mean, where somebody who wants to be flag bearer is lambasting his own government, a government that he's part of, a government that he serves as board chairman of a government institution, and he's lambasting and he's not resigning, and he's fighting the government that has appointed him, and he's not saying that I am resigning, I'm still in and I'm still pointing fingers. It's never happened before. It's never happened before. I mean, most of the time they leave and then they start,
listening.
Yeah, but the man is still there, still sitting there as board chairman. The wife is board chairman. And the person says that the government is not doing well. When he meets delegates, he goes berserk, lambasts everybody in government except himself. The party hasn't seen this before. And so that's why the party will struggle to manage it, because there's no example anywhere. I mean, let's move backwards to when NDC's Edianan decided to contest. I mean, it was a decent contest. I mean, he was a businessman akin to what Kennedy Japan would be. He chose to go back. Of course, he wasn't a member of parliament, but he was a known financier of the party for many years. Chose to go in as a decent man, very civilized, went in, he lost quietly, he went his way. Financier of the party, he wants to come and he has to shake every table. He has to bring everybody on their knees to make sure that he stands tall. I mean, who does that? So I think that it tells, you know, that the party has not handled a thing like this before. And when I hear people say that he's dividing the party, I'm not so sure. I think there are fault lines in the party that are being exposed. There are already existing fault lines that are now being exposed through the attrition that is going on. Okay, there are people who wanted certain positions they never got. People who wanted to be appointed they never got. People who thought that those who were appointed, they are better than them. And then this opportunity brings itself, and then they say, hey, so now I'll also follow this person to show you. You know, it's just, you know, these are the things happening. If you ask them, what is the problem? Oh, you see what is going on? Don't you see what is going on? What is the problem? Oh, you there, wait, we will see. It's just, it's not proper politics. So many things have been personalized to their core, personalized.
But isn't the case that a lot of them are aggrieved over a lot of things, and this is their way of expressing it?
Rightly so. And that's what I'm saying, that they are aggrieved. And some of the things that they are aggrieved about is that some of them wanted certain positions they never got. I mean, can you imagine somebody who runs a whole term of a minister and is changed after the term and is upset because they changed them? So when they made you minister, you don't want to move again. You want to carry the minister into your grave. That's what happens. A lot of the ministers that were changed under President Akufo-Addo were found following Alan Chamatin. True, we saw all of them. So they did. So the point is that once somebody doesn't get a position they want, it's a problem. Once they are moved from the position, it's a problem. So there are a lot of them, plenty. So these things have existed, but the opportunity has come, and it's exposing it.
Now, the actions we are seeing from people like that and the statements we've seen on the campaign trail, how will they affect the fortunes of the party when it comes to December proper? Because this is politics. People will go and pull these statements and campaign with them. I'm talking about their opponent.
Well, so there are two ways these statements may affect the party. One, in terms of the core support of the party, there may be some effect, but it will be minimal because they will vote anyway. What can happen to that core is that some of them may become apathetic, okay, because some of the things which are being said, maybe they may associate with it, or oh, this guy, is that what he has done? So why will I kill myself and go and queue and go and vote for you to come and say you are enjoying and I'm doing all of that, So that's one. So, and for a party in government, apathy is the biggest thing they can suffer. So if apathy happens, that's a problem. The guys in opposition, they are hungry. They want an opportunity. They will go all out and vote. And so the turnout for the opposition in cases like this will be great. What is also happening is that they are campaigning for the NDC. I mean, the NDC is hardly doing anything, openly. I mean, campaigning, making statements here and there. They are quiet. Maybe they are strategizing, I don't know. But NPP is doing their work for them. A lot of the acrimony we are seeing, they are fueling it themselves. So they are fighting themselves. They are killing themselves. They are insulting themselves. I hear wife of the vice president makes a statement and man jumps on you. Side, if I'm to say things I know, Charlie, it's a serious matter. I have never seen this before. If you want to go into a position, I will give it to you. Wow. So the NDC is just watching, cross this leg, and it's just watching. They're just doing their job for them. It is. I don't know how they'll manage it, but historically, in every internal contest like this, it's always difficult to bring the parties together. Even the NDC, the small one we saw between Mahama and even Dufour. Dufour was no match really. But things are not as they should be. As bad as this. We saw even Spio and Mills. It never really worked until Mills died. He never got the people around me. It never worked. Okay, what's the name? Alan and even Adonoo. Those who know them say that there were a few things, or not, if not the two key players, they are supporters. So these are contests which were run in a civilized manner, more or less. This one, I don't know how it's going to be. It's a very unconventional approach. There is a lot of bitterness when people are talking. It's as if, it's a difficult situation, and I wonder how the party will deal with it. The contest itself, historically, will present us with something we've never seen in the history of the party. If Bawumia wins, he comes out of he comes outside of the usual pedigree, the pool. People have said NPP is an account party. He comes from a different place. It adds color to the NPP. It deprives the opposition of a certain propaganda they've used all along. So that's something we've never seen before, which may be good for the party. If Kennedy wins, he is also coming out of a certain pool, coming outside of a certain pool. people who have always been known to run. And now he was 2-3 years ago. I'm not sure a lot of us thought he was going to run, or a lot of us could anticipate that he was going to run. He's coming out of that pool, outside of that pool, and he's running. He's almost a front runner. Well, when you look at it from 1992, Edubwahin won. Kufuor was in that race. Kufuor came third also. Kufuor was in that race. In 1996, Kufuor was the one who won. So Kufuor has always been in the reckoning. So he won. It wasn't a surprise. People knew that he was going to run, and he could win. And look at 1998, you know, Nanado ran, Kufuor ran, he won. But when you saw 2007, and Nanado ran, everybody knew he was going to run. And it continued like that. But Kennedy Japan is coming out of nowhere running. If he wins, it will be quite unconventional. It will be historic. His nature, his background, everything he stands for, etc., will be historic. Whether the party needs a person like that, I don't know. We will see on Saturday. Whether Ghana itself needs a person like that to lead us, it's also a question we'll find out in December of 2024. Of course, many people have said that we've tried the conventional guys, the John Mahamads, the Akufo-Addos, the Kufuors, and all of those guys. But this is where we are. Why don't we try somebody, a maverick, so-called, like what's the name? The Trump kind of guy, the guy who thinks outside the box, if that's what it is. And let's see where it will put us. I don't know where I stand in that debate or in that discussion. But all I'll say is that it will be very, very interesting going into Saturday, and what the party will do after that Saturday to bring everybody together, because they speak with so much anger, and they speak with so much, sometimes, entitlement, and I think that is a problem. The party must really, really, really have something to do about it, else the party will disintegrate. But my other observation is that it appears for many of them, they've given up on 2024.
Okay, hold on. I'll come back. I have to take a quick break. When I come, I also pick Attah-Mensah's thoughts on what the party can do to solve that problem, and then we'll look at the election proper. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117. And on HD Plus, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD Plus boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Welcome back to what the papers are saying. We're looking at Saturday's primaries for the NPP, the presidential one, of course. Now, if you look at most predictions and most discussions and analysis, so the two main contenders are, of course, Dr. Bawumia and Kennedy Japan. We're looking at the chances of the two and also what the party stands to deal with after that election, moving into the 2024 elections proper. Sometimes I'll pick your thoughts on this, and then we'll come back to the future of the party, on what the party can do to deal with all these cracks that we're seeing for the 2024 elections.
I think beginning what they did this afternoon is something to be expected, you know, but the pockets of interest groups are so many within the party, and a lot of them are motivated by different things. So as for me, I think the party will just have to keep going. I don't think they can resolve every issue that has popped up. Well, nobody was prepared for a thing like this, and so it will just remain as is. You know, after November 4th, life will just have to go on. I don't think that there will be an automatic reconciliation just because election is come and gone. The cracks will be there, but as happens in every political party, they have to just make do with what they have and move on.
Which comes to one of the things they said this afternoon about letting aspirants sign undertaking not to resign from the party.
I don't know what
if
that
they
means.
Lose the
I saw it and I didn't understand. Tell me you won't resign. So that what? I mean, what if they resign? Then what? You will punish them? No. I mean, go and sign that you won't resign means what? You are giving them money not to resign or what? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. If the people want to resign, they will resign. It's not do and tell. It's just putting powder, a POD, polish on death. You know, it's just what it is. Because if they want to resign based on how they feel they've been treated, they will go. It's just what happens in political parties. But to sign that and resign, I actually don't understand.
Maybe they are trying to deal with what we saw with Alan.
So you are bound by it? Selorm, you are the lawyer.
I mean, I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
And my view is just like, it's just a moral thing.
Yeah.
I mean, undertaking should be legally binding, promise, blah, 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 which may have consequences. But if you jail me or you what will you do to me? It is just for the cameras, for the supporters to say, or to see that, okay, our leaders have agreed to stay together. Our leaders have agreed not to go away, blah, blah, blah. The undertaking, they say, I think it's in two parts. One, not to resign. Number two, to support the candidate.
Yeah.
If, and you see, what we don't know is the commitment the party has made. Because if the things that they complain about, for example, are not addressed, and I lose, and I can blame it on the fact that you promised to do ABC and you did not do it, then if you also gave some undertaking or commitment to that process, then you've breached yours. So if I want to leave, what can you do? Even if you don't breach yours, and I say that I didn't feel fairly treated, it was skewed in favor of somebody like we've heard before, and I want to leave, you tie me, and you tie my leg to the elephant's leg, what will you do? So I don't think, I don't understand it really. I just don't know what
do
it is.
This signing thing, I don't know what it does for me.
But I mean, what could the party be? What could it be throwing
I think the party, maybe,
it?
I mean, to be harsh, I think the party is confused. The party doesn't know what to do. They want to just do this to show their supporters that something is. If I want to resign, what will you do? I mean, it's even done in national elections.
Come and sign that you won't resign.
To this.
What is that?
I'll support who wins. Support how?
You see, we need to bite the bullet. Let's understand the reality at stake. That is only one person who is going to win. And the onus now lies on this person to lead the party. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, look, the degree of animosity that some of these people have displayed, I am saying here that it will be near impossible to reconcile before 2024 December.
Then the winner has a tough task ahead.
Well, they do have a tough task. The winner will have a tough one, I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, the reality is that only one person is going to win. And if you told them, I mean, I'm telling myself that, do they understand the bargain that this commitment comes with? Sign that you won't resign. So that if I don't win, what does the party do for me to remain in the loop? Is the party going to pay me monthly salary? Is the party going to, this is where they do bargains that come back to bite them. They told me that I should come and support, and I've supported. Now they've won and they are not giving me a high position. This is where the pain starts. So I think that this is it. People are going to the poll. Let whoever wins win. Let the chips fall where they may, and let life continue.
Right. Issues of vote buying.
Yeah, the vote buying.
All over the place.
What's the name? Former General Secretary John Boydu had a good way, or had an interesting way he put it, that if I call people to come, they have traveled and they've come and they are leaving, and I give them transportation, will you call that vote buying? So it depends. So I think the vote buying in this sense will depend on the quantum of money or what you are giving to the people. If you are giving me a TV set or a fan or an air conditioner, that may not be transportation, okay? If you are giving me 100 cedis, like they all say, they give to the people, well, that may pass for transportation, given the economic situation.
Ken is giving 100, Bawumia is giving 200.
Okay, so they are all giving. so if I give more than you, then you come and complain.
Yeah.
But we all give. So if it's 100 cedis and 100 cedis may look small, or 200 cedis may look small, but you multiply by the number of delegates we have, and of course the regional coordinators or the constituency coordinators or whatever may not have 100, they will have more.
Yeah.
You know, when you multiply that by the number of delegates we have, that's a lot of money. And some of them have gone twice or 3 times. That's a lot of money. So there's a lot of money going into it, and where a man, how do you say, where a man's heart is, where a man's money is, that's where his heart is, or vice versa. That's why they've put in their heart like that, because a lot of money is gone in there. Kennedy Japan is sinking a lot of money in there, and so, you know, he won't take it lying down. He will give you a showdown because a lot of money has gone in there. I just don't know how the party will do it. Fortunately, I don't know how these executives have performed in terms of, you know, their conflict resolution, you know, experience and track record. But they will need a lot of that, and they will need strong leaders, and they will need leaders who, you know, who about whom can be said that they've been fair, they were just, etc. in the lead up to the process. So if you have not been fair, and I have a problem at the end of the day, you won't have the moral authority to come and tell me anything, because you've not been fair in the process. So I will hope that they will see their executives or leaders as people who have been fair in the process. If they don't think about it like that, then I think the party will have a torrid time, you know, scaling this.
Okay, so what is your final words on this topic?
I mean, Saturday is just 2 days away, right? And by 4 p.m., we'll know who wins, and then they should just get on with it. But I don't think that the reconciliation thing crap will work, because if you hear the likes of Watuse, because it's the Watuse's name, Fred Opariansa, and the responses that he's been giving to Kennedy Japan, and he has promised that post November 4th, he is going to take him on, and on certain things to take him, to sue him. You know, so I'm just saying that it's for me, in certain quarters, it's just the beginning of many things ahead. And for the money and the resources that people are spending, they are not going to take things lying down.
Okay.
And so the MPP has a Herculean task ahead of them.
All right.
They said they will do an outdooring on Saturday. I don't think all 4 candidates will be there.
At the end of the day.
I doubt, especially if things don't go the way. If things don't go smoothly the way they expect.
Oh, things they won't go smoothly.
I don't think all 4 of them will be there.
Things they won't go
all 4 of them will be there.
People will cry. People will cry.
So on Saturday, of course, we'll bring you live coverage here at Citi TV, also on Citi FM, on everything from when the polls open to the end, through to it, and then wrap up with, of course, that mini rally we're expecting to see at the Ohene Sports Stadium here in the Greater Accra region. So you want to keep your dial on Citi 97.3 FM and also on Citi TV. Okay, guys, let's move to the Akosombo Dam Spillage, still in the news, because, of course, the issue is still big over there. And we'll start with the VRA saying that they've ended the spillage, and then, of course, Parliament to inquire into the Akosombo Dam Spillage. We'll start with you, Selorm, and then we'll come to you, Attah-Mensah, some great things we're doing and where we've gotten to as a station in terms of bringing some relief to victims affected by the spillage.
Yes, so the VRA, I think the VRA really has a lot of questions to answer. Their preparedness for this whole spillage, why they couldn't have done it or started earlier. Of course, they will tell you data and everything. But given the amount of data they say they have, they could have anticipated this long before. I'm one of those who think that they could have anticipated this way before. And the manner in which they did the spilling, it was important that they did the spilling But I think that they could have done it, they could have started a bit earlier, so that it's more controlled, so that people are not devastated the way they are. And I also do not think that they gave the people enough notice. Some of the chiefs we spoke to said they were giving 3 days notice. You don't give people 3 days notice as if the thing is a storm coming. You were seeing the water levels rising gradually, and you knew where it was going, and you knew what your operational, maximum operating level was. And so once you have data, and you knew how much water was coming into the dam on daily basis, and you could make projections. So I think they dropped the ball a bit, because in Ghana, we do simulation, we do this, we do that, nothing happens. So we'll drink tea, we'll be happy, we'll pat ourselves in the back and say, we've done a good job. Like the simulation they said they did in May. They praise themselves for doing a good job. The question I ask is, what lesson from that simulation exercise did they apply to this? I don't see it, or I didn't see it. When the thing happened, some of the people we spoke to said, NADMO, for example, was helpless. They came to see them and told them they will come back. They had nothing. So they could only go and see them and talk to them. But the people are in need. They are struggling. Their places have been submerged. You don't just go and see them and go away. They needed help. It was a very dire situation. Yeah. I don't see what lessons from that simulation, brought to bear, or I don't see how experience or lesson from that simulation impacted what we saw. It's been unprecedented. I mean, when you look at some of the pictures, whole houses, homes submerged. Now I'm thinking, after they finish, people will have to go back. Some of the things they would have lost, now they can't remember. As time goes on, they will begin to remember, oh, I've lost. Some people may have money, some people may have, they will have to start life afresh. Are we prepared for this? The VRA, we understand, should have a fund for things like this. Is that fund really operational? Is it there? Is there money in there? How are we going to do this? VRA, I think, dropped the ball. They owe the people a duty of care. I think they breached that duty of care. There's been injury. And I think they must face it. I mean, they must face it. Parliament wanting to inquire into this, it's entirely within their remit to do so. They are representatives of the people. And I understand about 8 districts or so, which means maybe more constituencies may be affected. And now it's not just the lower Volta, Eastern Greater Accra enclave. It's going way back to the Bono regions. So the effect of it is massive. So if Parliament wants to inquire into this, it is welcome, it is great. That is how it should be. Parliament must eschew partisanship and do a good job. Bring the people to book. Let them be accountable for what they have done. And let's see how we can help the people. Okay. It's not been the best.
Okay, so I'll come to you, but I have to take a quick break. When I come, I'll pick your thoughts as well. We'll be right back.
Do you have leftover food that you don't want to throw away and are wondering what to do? Or do you have bits and pieces of ingredients that you are struggling to use to create something tasty? Or do you simply want inspiration to try something different?
Oh!
Well, What's Cooking is definitely the show for you.
It's a whole mood. It's a whole vibe.
Why not watch What's Cooking to stimulate your creativity to impress your guests at the next party with a palpable taste and aroma of luxuriously delectable dishes permeating through the TV? Your culinary prowess will never be the same.
Coconut milk infused gobe.
So it's coconut infused milk.
What's Cooking is on every Tuesday at 6 p.m. only on Citi TV. What's Cooking is sponsored by Indomie Instant Noodles. Indomie Instant Noodles tastes great. Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. Fakakra na ayebebre. Taste of spice. The nation's finest spices. BVS Butchery. Only the best quality meats.
Yeah, welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Lokko. I'm here with some Attah-Mensah as well as Selorm Adonoo. We're looking at the Akosombo Dam Spillage and the impact on residents in areas affected by the spillage. I mean, we've been embarking on, a campaign in three folds, looking at the relief, of course, and getting people to contribute to help, as well as providing some temporary shelters. Can you tell us where we've gotten to and the next stage?
Well, we've been doing this for since the flooding thing started, and I hear you talk about VRA and what they should have done and what they didn't do, and for me, in my notes, VRA, I'm sure a few things could have been done better, but I'd rather they spilled the water for us to get into this mess than allowing the dam to break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
it was, how do you say, between the devil and the deep blue sea. Yeah. Okay, you have managed the dam for years with a certain frequency of spillage based on a certain weather pattern, and then climatic changes. Weather patterns start, changing their course, okay, and they started spilling in the volume that they were used to before, but they noticed that the water coming downstream was still higher, so they had to keep increasing, okay. It's not, I don't think that is a problem that lies at the doorstep of the VRA alone. The VRA's mandate is to secure and manage the dam. That's their foremost mandate.
Yeah.
It comes with environmental responsibilities. But I always say that the responsibility of enforcing our laws and regulations does not belong to the VRA. Mm-hmm. Special, what do you call it? Managing our spaces and settlements is not the duty of the VRA. There are local authorities, there are national institutions whose responsibility it is to manage settlements. Look, as unfortunate as this situation is, I think it gives us a window to now go back and make a strong statement of where people can live and where people cannot live. Mm-hmm. And that's why we talk about settlement in our intervention. Mm-hmm. That a lot of the places that have been affected, I am not sure in the next 4 or 5 years they can have their communities back in whole. Mm-hmm. I mean, communities have been completely wiped off. Buried underwater. Mm-hmm. In some places, the town is gone, the cemetery is gone, the markets are gone. Now, the access to the place is gone. What do we have left? Nothing. So you go and give them food so that they keep it where?
Yeah.
You understand? The whole livelihood is gone. So I think that the government has to see this issue of settlement as an urgent priority. Mm-hmm. There are some places they have to rebuild communities. The government has to rebuild communities, I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. And so for us as a private institution, what we have done is to energize people to contribute, and what we think is the way to go is to first of all provide for those who are in temporary, what they call safe havens. And when you go there and you see one, and you see that they've written safe haven on it, you erase the safe haven.
Safe and the heaven.
you erase, there's nothing safe about it. Somebody sleeping in an open classroom, no door, no window, no flooring, okay? No mosquito nets, no bathrooms, no washrooms, father, mother, children, grandfather, grandmother, everybody sleeping on the bare floor, and you call it safe what? There's nothing safe about most of the places. There's no drinking water. When we went to Tokpo, the people sleeping in the classroom, they would take the buckets that they have left, walk into the water there, the muddy water, and fetch it and come and drink it.
The contaminated water.
So I'm saying that the clear and present danger that stares at us is about settlement, settlement, settlement. And if we are not prepared to do this settlement, we are a joke of a nation. If you are not prepared to do this settlement, because look, how much food are you going to give to them? And where are they going to keep their food? Where are they going to keep their food? You get me? Yeah. So if we don't think of the medium to longer term strategy of, okay, now we know if we are dealing with the geography people, we know the areas that we should never encourage people to settle again. Because as for climate, it's one of the things we can never control. What if, God forbid, this thing happens again next year? Who are we going to blame? VRA again? So they should shut the dam? They are not shutting the dam. And these spillages, look, last year, the Asa River in Kwara State, when it happened that way, the thing went to about 5 other states. Drowned villages by heart. So what I'm saying is that securing the dam is a national security issue. But when it comes to settlement, VRA can do so much, but there has to be a national enforcement drive, but not just a matter of enforcement, offering alternative settlement options to people. And you can't, and I hear people, hey, take them to Saglemi. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You take them to Saglemi, the Saglemi thing, is there lights there? Is there, you know, and then when they finish, wow, they are farmlands. The people are peasant farmers. If you took them to Saglemi, where should they go to farm? When they wake up, they should sit and watch the Aflao Road like that.
And some are fishermen, and you know. They
are fishermen. Where is the water for them to? You see, we can't oversimplify it. Let's relocate them. Let's start the process of proper evaluation and building new settlements for them. Look, as for the settlement, and it's a typical thing about Ghana, we solve every problem except our own problems. We go and solve everything, then by the time we are done, our problem is still looking at us. The people, we will have to resettle them. No two ways about that.
But I mean, realistically, can we do that? If you look at even how this thing has turned out, as a country.
No. I mean, how can we start by saying we can't? So what can we do? Assuming what can we do? All we hear is that we are going to bring relief to you. Yeah. We are going to bring relief to you. And you and I know that the relief they are talking about will not scratch any surface. Because we've been going to the places. Yeah. We have been going. Between last week and this week, we've been there about 5 times. And we've had over 12 teams go in and out. And I'm saying that what they need is resettlement in the mid to longer term. Okay. I mean, yes, immediate, short term, you give them food, give them just to give them a semblance of their livelihood. But what will really solve the problem is that they have to be resettled.
Okay. What's
listening to it's interesting that the matter of resettlement hasn't even come up.
That's the point I'm making.
It's not even the discussion.
And so I don't even know how they are doing the evaluation. I mean, somebody says that, but you can't take them from the land of their birth. That is true, but you can take them from danger.
Yeah.
It is true that you can't take them from the land of their birth, but you can take them away from danger. Why not? Every settlement in the history of man has a history. It has a story of sojourn. It has a story of a journey. And the journey explains why they eventually settle at where they are. Can you imagine? Move them where they are to another place, give them the houses. I mean, you're not going to build these cantonments, bungalows for them. You understand? Yeah. Every year they do their festival, they remember where they used to be. It's part of the story, it's part of the legend. This is how societies have evolved. So I'm just saying that the leadership must look at the issue of settlement seriously. If it's not on their table, then we are just joking.
Well, we got to end it here. We hope it's on their table and we hear something around that soon. But thank you so much, guys, Samuel Attah-Mensah and Selorm Adonoo, for joining me today for What the Papers Are Saying. And thank you, too, for watching. We'll be back next week. Thank you. My name is Vivian Kai Lokko. Goodbye.